Hi everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome to our look at Heroes of Storm Playable. It might work. Cool. So yeah, I couldn't get on the PTR today. I was not home yesterday, could not play it when it first released. But we are here. We're going to be going through the patch notes in today's video. And then hopefully I'll be able to get on and get some footage for you guys to come out today with Ragnaros and all the new stuff. And 3 reworks. We got reworks to Dehaka, to Artanis, and to one more, Diablo. So yeah, stay tuned. We're going to go through that stuff in today's video. In fact, let me hit that play button. Let's see if we can log on. I hope so. That'd be really handy if we could. There was also a balance update, which is out on the live servers right now, I believe, which did tweak quite a few things, which will also be live on the PTR. So if you are playing on the PTR, the live servers, there was, at this exact same day that they released the PTR patch, there was 2 patches. There's one that went live as well, with changes to Falstad. Basically, they nerfed a bunch of globals. Big nerf to Li Ming, Calamity now only dealing damage to heroic targets. Nerfs to Samuro, some buffs to some stuff for like Nazebo, for Karazim, for Nubarak, Stitches. Nerfs to Sanctification, and then some changes to Variant to try to bring some of his talents a bit more in line, make them a bit better balanced. So there you go. Okay, now Battle.net's still not working. That sucks. That sucks balls. So we're just going to go through this stuff and make do without being able to jump in and look at the talents of these heroes. So I'll actually double check this real quick while we're here. I should have checked this before. Has this been updated to show the new stuff or not? No, this has not been updated. So this is still the old one. Okay, so we can't check out the new hero talents. Here, what we'll do is when we go and we do the videos in each of the individual reworked heroes, I will go through all the talents and show you what they are. That's probably the best way to do that, deal with that, instead of being able to go through them in this video. So anyway, general changes. Winterveil is here. Hooray, hooray, hooray. It's going to be December 14th until January 4th. So it should stack up with your Nexus challenge, which is fantastic. 25% XP bonus, which is really nice. So just XP bonus during the whole event. Hooray. Play 25 games and you'll get a portrait, and more importantly, a festive treasure goblin mount, which is pretty damn cool. That's pretty damn cool, and big fan of that. So there you go. Not only, it's not just about a portrait this time, you get something good. Hooray. Rank Season 3, we actually have some fairly large changes to Rank Season 3. Hero League is now 1 person only. I mean, queuing. You can't queue with a friend. You have to go in solo. Complete solo queue. Proper legit solo queue. I think this is really nice. And then hopefully boosting up Team League. You can queue for Team League as 2, 3, or 5 player parties. Very interesting actually. 2 and 3 player parties can only queue for Team League if all members are ranked with one league of one another. So the same rules that apply to duo queuing in Hero League today are going to apply to going into Team League with 2 or 3 people. You still need to be ranked closely. 5 player parties though can be any mixture of league rankings to try to balance it out. The fact that I suppose that the teamwork that ought to come from that will make up for it. The fact that you can be very spread. You could have a bronze player and a gold player and a diamond player and a platinum player and a silver. You could have someone from each of like the main leagues, and yeah, you could do that if you wanted to. That's fine, but you won't be able to do it with the smaller parties. So you need 14 heroes. No minimum hero level requirements for Team League, which is grand. And then it's first come, first serve. So I think it's whoever locks in their heroes first gets to pick them. It doesn't go down the order like it does in Hero League. It will be whoever locks the hero first gets to lock them in. So it's going to be very, very important to communicate with your teammates, especially like they said, parties of 2 and 3 players. So if you got a 2 player party and a 3 player party together, instead of being a full 5 person party, you're going to have to communicate between the 2 groups a lot to try to get that down. I don't know if that will put people off. It might do, but it's probably the best way to handle it, to be fair. And then silence players, no Team League for you. So that is good. It would suck to go in and be like, yo, 2-man team, what are you guys going to pick? And then they're both silenced. That would suck. So yeah, that's good. And that should have been there from the start, honestly. I don't know. They should have just banned them from Team League before anyway. But this is good. Season 2 rewards. Yeah, you get your rewards. Great. MMR will become looser, so your placement games really matter. At the start of season, ranked Season 3, you will be able to climb or fall your divisions much faster than you would before, so that is nice. So opportunities there for you guys to climb up the ranks, which is cool. Thought this is pretty cool. Silver and Gold League population sizes will now contain similar amount of players. They are, or they will be by far the largest leagues. And Diamond League, this is where other people are coming from effectively. Diamond League is now going to contain about half the number of players than the previous season. So I think basically if we have, let me see my webcam. Am I going to be doing this the right order? I'm just going to do it this way, right? So you have like bronze is here, and silver, gold, platinum, diamond. So they're going to make diamond like, whew, they're going to make it like this. So it's going to be like, it's supposed to be, I don't know what it is, like the top 10%. It'd be like, boom, top 5%. Then platinum is going to be the same size, but it's going to move up. So that will basically mean that gold is bigger. Because I think silver was the biggest. So they're going to make gold bigger. They're going to move platinum up, and then they're going to squish diamond. And that's basically how it's going to work. So if you guys are in platinum at the moment, it's going to be harder to get platinum. It's more likely you're going to be part of this bigger gold group if you're in platinum 5. If you're in diamond 5 or 4, I suppose, you're probably going to find yourself out in the cold and back in platinum next season. I think it's a really good change, honestly. I think like there's such a large, at the top levels, like in the top leagues, like there's such a large skill differential. It's like, I think that is really bad. Like for example, a diamond 5, it's like there's no way that a diamond 5 player can legitimately play with like masters or grandmasters. Like they just get owned. They get owned. There's such a huge skill differential, between that. So yeah, I think it makes sense to make diamond a bit smaller, make it a bit more respectable. And this will obviously as well affect probably that diamond 3 starting point. I don't know exactly how that's going to work out. I guess you can still get into diamond 3, but it means that you start higher up on the ladder effectively with your max placements. So yeah, this should be good for like the top level of the game and make diamond a bit more prestigious. Whereas I think that the skill requirements for being in diamond at the moment are honest, they're just a little bit too low, honestly. They're a little bit too low. I would think, you know, if a new player came into the game and saw, oh, you're a diamond player, you expect them to be really good. And while they are obviously very good comparatively, there's still a massive skill gap at the moment. Shrinking it a little bit makes sense to me. Anyway, new hero Ragnaros. We'll go through him when we get to play him on the PTR. He looks very cool. I've heard that he's very strong as well, so excited to see him. And this is exciting. Battleground Haunted Mines has been reworked, which is really, really interesting. So it will, it's back. Big changes. Alright, that's just describing what it is. Here's the updates. There we go. So the grave golems, they'll now spawn in fixed positions in each lane. So before, you'd have like one, I forget which one was which. I think like the red team went top lane and the blue one went bottom lane. They might have been flipped around. It doesn't really matter. But it would start in your base and it would push. It would die when you got enough skills to trigger the next phase. They get up where they left off and push forwards again. So they'd only push down one lane. So they could be a really snowbally map where one team just pushed in and won. They're going to spawn in fixed positions in each, like maybe halfway through the lane. They're going to spawn there each time now. And then they're going to swap lanes every time they're summoned, which is a pretty interesting thing. It's much like Brax's Holdout, really. They're going to swap the lanes every time, which will help drag the game out longer. It's not like you have one irrelevant lane and one lane that you only want to push in. It's going to be much more balanced now, which is nice. They've also changed the layout of underground mines to make it more fair. So they've got the neutral grave golem is going to be in the middle. It used to be on the right hand side. So it was very difficult to get to. It's going to be easier to get to now and easier to contest and escape from, I presume. And then there's going to be additional mine entrances at the east and west. So they're going to have 4 entrances into the mine right now. Obviously then like the west entrance will really help the blue team and the east one really help the red team. So it'll be more of like a fight over the mines from like an east to west perspective, I think is how it's going to work. And yeah, there's also going to be, I think the bruiser camps are gone, but there's going to be siege giants at the east and west entrances and then sappers at the north and south entrances. So you're going to have sappers now, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it could definitely be a thing of, okay, we grab the sappers and have them push in and get structural damage while people are fighting in the mines. I like the sound of it, and I'm actually quite excited to see Haunted Mines come back, and we'll see exactly how it turns out. But the rework to me sounds really good, and I do actually really enjoy the 2-lane maps quite a lot. They're usually much more simple, much more straightforward, and quicker a little bit, and they're always a lot of fun. I just find them a lot of fun. I do. Alright, so we got Artanis, Dehaka, and Diablo. They have some visual effects and talent color tints change for their reworks. And then animation changes to Kael'thas Pyroblast and Zarya Particle Grenade, which have both been buffed. Following changes. Oh yeah, we got some bundles. So there's Ragnaros. Malfurion is gone. I really thought they would have put those out together. It makes sense to me, but I guess not. Then we got stuff. Doesn't really matter. Yada yada. Sylvanas' price has been reduced. So, Sylvanas. Hey, with Haunted Minds coming back, it's the perfect time to pick up Sylvanas. So pick her up and have some fun. Yes, you can now see, this is great. You can see the Grandmaster leaderboards and the rank play guides in client, which is nice. That makes it much more smooth. It used to, you press the button and it would take you out into your browser and open that up, which is kind of silly. So that's fantastic. You can now like shift click on heroes or roles and it will link that hero into the chat. So if someone is like, guys, what should I play? You can just like shift click, you know, shift click Tyrael. Be like, yo, play Tyrael. Click Tyrael, and it just pops up. You don't have to type it in. You can click like 5 heroes. You can just go, what should I play? Spam click the warrior one, maybe. Like, warrior, warrior, warrior. Play all the warriors. And then something like this. I'm not exactly sure how this works, but it says, clicking a hero or role link in chat will also automatically filter players' hero lists accordingly. So I presume that, like, if someone posts, like, warriors, and I click the warrior button, it will shift my thing to warrior. I'm just kind of confused as to, like, does it shift everyone's thing to warrior? How does that work? I presume it's just yours if you click it, but yeah, anyway. Mostly used to suggest picks and bans, which makes sense, and that's kind of cool. And yeah, great, cool. Penalties for leaving games. So, leaving unranked draft, thank you. Team League games will be flagged to receive leave or penalties. It's one of the freaking pain in the ass. Because I'm doing a lot of unranked draft videos at the moment, and it's a pain in the ass because you just get Q dodged over and over and over because there's no punishment. If people just go, I don't like the draft, I didn't get the hero I want, they just leave. And you can just be stuck sometimes for like an extra 15 minutes waiting until people stop dodging the goddamn game. So now you get leaver penalties. Good! Why was this not here before? Get them out, kick them out, and you can no longer queue for unranked draft or team league games. Great! Stick all the levers in quick match. Sorry, quick match people, you're gonna have more jerks in your games, unfortunately, but makes it better for everyone else in unranked team league and hero league. So yeah, you see, I play in those leagues, so I'm happy with it. Sorry if you're quick match though. Then some nice changes, sort of, to the MVP commendation screen. So now you can see the score screen with tab, which is really great. That's going to help voting and make voting more in-depth, I suppose, and fair. Give people more of a reason to vote because they can see the score screen. Then they've put a skip button. I'm like, okay, it's a good step, but I don't fully understand. Why did they just not put it back the way it was before with the MVP screen being shorter, and then you pop up an exit button like 5 seconds into the commendation screen? Why is it not like that? I don't understand. Like, I've asked people in the comments and no one can explain ever. No one has explained yet why it's this stupid fucking skip button and exit button. It's like now I'm just like, alright, I'll press the skip button and then click the exit button real fast and now I'm gone. Great, cool. Don't have to waste time doing this. Why is the MVP screen so long? Why is there an exit button on the commendation screen at the start? I do not understand why you would not just have like a shorter MVP screen and then have like 5 seconds where it's like everyone is in the commendation screen. You can chat, you can vote, you can look at the score screen. Alright, no reason not to vote because you're there. It's fun, great. I don't know, I don't understand this. Like, you can still leave the commendation screen and pressing the exit button. Like, sure, after 5 seconds, cool, because it's really stupidly long. And like, why is it that long? I don't understand why it's that long. It's way too long. And then you can click skip, which will immediately take you to the commendation screen. But again, like, why is the MVP screen so long? I don't see why you need a skip button if it's like, again, I don't know, like 5 seconds for an MVP screen. And then, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. It was fine the way it was when it first came out. I don't understand. Design and gameplay, unrevealable heroes. For periods of time, everyone just skips it. I'm very frustrated by this. So if a hero is unrevealable, they'll no longer show a shimmer like other stealthed heroes. So, is this... Well, certainly Samuro, when he pops Windwalk, that you've got like 1 second where you're not going to show a shimmer. Does that affect Tassadar? It might. I'm not sure what other heroes get affected by this. Maybe like Nova with Stealth Protocol 20? Does that do that? I'm curious. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what heroes get affected by this, but it's cool. What's this do? There you go. 2 seconds. Ghost Protocol. You don't show a shimmer. Cool. Great. Maybe that's good. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. It's just going to be unrevealable. No shimmer. Does that matter that much? I don't know. But it's worth noting that it's there anyway. Then we have, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're going to make the really shitty Zerg Swarm and Braxis Holdout twice as good, but still shitty. But still you get 6 Zerglings, so that's cool. And then they've nerfed the Warheads, and they scale every minute. And yeah, great. So Warhead Junction. The Warheads got to start off a bit weaker, but they're going to scale up every single minute, so they'll steadily increase in power as the game goes on. This is fantastic. Again, it's one of those weird things where it's like, why was this not a thing before? It must be some sort of programming thing, right? We're programming it in to have a steady increase. It must have taken them some time to code and make the map work. There must have been some bugs or something. But it's really bizarre. It's really bizarre why it would have just boom, jumped in power at like some specific minute. I think it was like 14 minutes before, then they changed to 18 minutes. Yeah, this is a flat scaling. It makes so much more sense, doesn't it? It makes so much more sense. Anyway, let's go into the hero stuff. Oh yeah, so there is again this patch, which I have a video on already, or should do. They will be live on the PTR as well, and they should be live on the live servers. So if you're noticing changes to heroes and wondering why they're different, it might be from this live balance patch that has just come out, as opposed to a change that is in the PTR patch. Alright, so Chromie, Time Walker, increased the level reduction for getting talents from 1 to 2 levels. So she now gets talents 2 levels earlier than everyone else. So she'll get a talent at, what is that? Level 1, level 2, level, I'm getting really confused already, level 5. She'll get Heroic at level 8. Then level 11, level 14, and then level 18. So that's actually a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. And that could be a big change to Chromie, and I just think it's like it's much more noticeable then. I actually really like this. Her win rate is crappy, so you can afford to give her like a pretty substantial buff like this, and then it makes that trait much less of a throwaway thing of just like, oh, you get a bit of a level earlier, but you know, it's not always a huge deal. It's a much bigger deal when it's 2 levels. That's much more noticeable, and that's a lot more fun. And yeah, I'm excited to give her a try. We also have got some talent changes. I'm kind of curious about this. Chromie. So, Peer into the Future is gone and has been merged with Time Walker's Pursuit. Time Walker's Pursuit is the mana one. Okay. And this was, you can reveal places. Okay. So they've merged those. So, okay. It's just, yeah, they literally have just merged them. It's like the activatable reveal an area. Has it been changed at all? Reveal an area for 2 seconds. Enemy seen are revealed for 4 seconds. It doesn't say the cooldown. I presume it's literally just the same. Okay, Time Walker's Pursuit. You can now activate it. So it's already giving you more mana regen and will give you some ability power at the end. And you can now use it to activate and reveal an area. That's actually pretty good. As opposed to getting the sight radius and damage on your W and then getting damage on your Q when you finish the quest. So that's pretty nice, actually. Making her level 1 just a little bit more slick, and instead of having these 2 really unchosen things. In fact, let's check. I'm curious. How often were these actually chosen? Wow, okay, look at that. Look at that. They were never chosen, and their win rates are, well, her win rate in general is terrible. But yeah, we put it up to Master. We're going to get like 0 games? 7 games. 10. Wow. They're proportionately more popular at Masters, ironically. But yeah, okay, so that's great. Merge those 2 that are never taken together, make them more appealing, and I don't like, honestly, like if you look at this, Peer into the Future, it's not that far behind Deep Breathing. If you give you this one as well, that's pretty legit. Let's oh Jesus, let's just search for like a month or something. She hasn't been changed in ages, right? Here we go. Okay, there's still not enough data to even see. You know what? I give up. Who cares? But right, it makes them better. And her win rate's really bad. Like Deep Breathing looks really bad right now. I don't know. I probably would say Deep Breathing is probably now the worst one. Don't pick Deep Breathing. Pick Time Walker's Pursuit, or pick what the other one's called, Compounding Ether. Cool. All right, Chromie. She's gonna change quite a lot. It's gonna be quite exciting. Quite exciting. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. They're really cool changes. Good work, Blizzard. Kael'thas then. Pyroblast. Cast time is reduced by half a second, and the range been increased by 30%. So, yeah, Pyroblast is going to be kind of much better now. Be way easier to actually land. And, like, the win rate. Like, Pyroblast, I think, is just your go-to. A Masters. What's it at for, like, general leagues? That's hilarious. I think Pyroblast. Okay, it's a bit lower. But yeah, I think, Pyroblast, I think they might have given this the Earthquake treatment. They might have made this the better heroic, which is hilarious. It's been underperforming compared to well, kind of. Well, not hugely though, really, is it? It's like, it's a little bit. Certainly overall it's worse, but I mean, like, look at this. Look at this. It's like 5% better. That's hilarious. Okay. Okay. Like where the damage is at, yeah. Heroes can stop it. There's counterplay. I love it. Make it more consistent. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Pyroblast Kael'thas, guys. That's the way to do. Here's an alternative build, actually. Let me go to that. Let's go. I'll show you guys an alternative build. I did have a Kael'thas video recently doing like an AoE Flame Strike build, and we had some really good discussion, and I was thinking about it afterwards. So the build I did in that game was Convection. Went for Mana Tap in that one. But I think you could legitimately grab Netherwind instead. Let's say Netherwind. Burned Flesh, Phoenix, Pyromaniac, Fear of the Sunwell, Flamethrower. That was the build I went for in that game. Well, I actually grabbed Mana Tap, but I think Netherwind is better generally. But yeah, either one. Let's just go with this, because that's what was in the video. So I have a video of this build, like AoE focus build. I think got a pretty cool new little build here. So they're like Mana Addict, Netherwind, Sun King's Fury. Grab Pyroblast now. Then Pyromaniac, anything here. I think all of these are good. And then, what does this do? Increase the explosion radius. Increase the cooldown per hero's hit. How long is the cooldown? Oh, it's really long. Never mind. If you get too off in a fight, that would be hilarious. But realistically, unless you hit everyone, you're not going to. Let's say Master of Flames. So it's like, your W's are doing a lot of damage. You're pretty protected yourself. You can land your stun more easily. Your W's doing a lot of work. You could even grab like Twin Spheres. I don't know. What are the win rates on these? Are you Master still? I'm curious. Okay, so they're both really good. Either one. So you could grab like Twin Spheres and be doing like, okay, I'll use one charge to keep like just spam out every, what's the cooldown? 6 seconds? Yeah, it should be 6 seconds. Every 6 seconds, gonna spam out a free living bomb, and that's gonna be really nice. And then I'm gonna use my empowered Netherwind, empowered Gravity Lapse to try to stun people with the AoE stun with the second sphere. And then I'm going to Pyroblast people as well and explode, and it's going to be hilarious. Like, seriously, if you land, that's a 1.5 second stun. If you empower it, right? Stun them first enemy. First 3 enemies. Increase the stun. Yeah, it's a 1.5 second stun. It costs 1.5 seconds to cast Pyroblast. You could totally hit people. I suppose there's the travel speed on Pyroblast. Okay, you can't really. Damn it. But still, I like this. Pyroblast Kael'thas, OP, confirmed. Supports. It maybe will be, actually. I'm not even being that sarcastic. I think it not be OP, but I think it's going to be pretty good. Oriel. Everyone, allies can all see the crown. That just makes sense. That just makes sense. I think they were concerned about visual clutter in the game and readability of the game, but I think not having it there made it more unreadable. I think this is a good thing, and I'm glad that's in. Rehgar has actually received like a mini rework, guys, and he's going to be pretty good. Let's hop over to Rehgar here. Here he is. Rehgar, old buddy, old pal. Oh yeah, we can't see his new talent, so this is not going to be super helpful. Never mind. Let's run through it anyway. So, basic attack damage, huge buff. 20% more basic attack damage. Really nice. Lightning shield, more damage from that too. Bloodlust as well. All affected allies now heal for 30% of basic attack damage dealt during Bloodlust. Bloodlust by default. It's a 90-second cooldown. Gives nearby allies 40% attack speed, 30% move speed for 10 seconds. And it's now they're going to heal for 30% of the basic attack damage they do. With the basic attack damage team, I'm kind of hyped for Bloodlust. What's the win rate on Bloodlust? Rehgar. This is cool. Like, I'm excited for these Rehgar changes as well. Okay, no one even picks it. Let's just knock it down. Pretty bad win rate overall, though. Yeah, it's a bit lower, but not that much. But, like, I think legitimately you could have, like, some sort of, like, Illidan or Samuro or Vala-focused teams, like, with a couple of basic attack heroes or, like, a Sergeant Hammer. Get a few of them in there. Maybe Muradin with, like, Skullcracker and give him the axe or something like that. And you could actually, I think, I'd love for Bloodlust to be played more. I think it's such a cool ability that sees no play, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I like that they've given it a little buff. Again, I think you always have to be scared of the Earthquake treatment, where just a little buff just makes one heroic insanely strong. But yeah, the W's just do more damage, your basic attacks are doing more damage, and of course, your trait makes your basic attack do 75 bonus damage, which is also going to scale really nicely off this. So that's like 20% bonus damage on that big bite as well, which is great. Level 4, Stormcaller is now returning mana from all enemies, not heroes. So this talent seems like it's going to be pretty good now. At the moment, it's like 40%, but bear in mind that the others are pretty low. What it does at the moment is this. When Lightning Shield damages an enemy hero, it restores 4 mana up to 40. It's now going to restore mana every time it hits anything. So minion waves as well. This by default is a 60 mana cost. So against a minion wave, you are realistically going to refund 40 mana every time you use Lightning Shield. It's going to be really good on the shrines and Infernal Shrines. And yeah, this is going to help your mana sustain a lot. I like the change a lot, especially seeing this win rate over here. And the pick rate, I think that's pretty good. And it's an interesting change. Yeah, and then Totemic Projection will also increase the duration of Earthbind Totems. So Totemic Projection is this one. You can reactivate your E to move it to a new location, which also is probably never picked. Yeah, it's like never picked, basically. The win rate, though, is pretty comparable to everything else, which is really interesting. So this one might be okay now. Well, I think it's clearly already okay, but it makes it more appealing. I feel like Rehgar's talent, I feel like this talent build is a little bit cluttered. I'd like to see the trim down. Like, I do feel that maybe 3 talent choices per tier is generally the go-to. I'm not a huge fan of 4. I think when you got 4 talent choices, you end up more often than not with shit like this, where you've got talents that are never chosen. That's just my design insight right there. So I would like to see some of these maybe merged or removed or something, but it's fine, whatever. Then level 20. Oh yeah, these are like never chosen either, right? Yeah, like look at these. These are some of the least commonly chosen. You just take Storm Shield. Even Rewind is chosen quite often. So Farseer's Blessing at the moment, it's just increases the healing of Ancestral by 50%, but that's usually overkill. And then allies near the target are healed for 25%. It's going to be buffed. So allies near the target are going to be healed by 50% of Ancestral healing, which is really good. And you might even have like a kind of stack up on the person being Ancestral kind of playstyle, which is kind of cool. And then Gladiator's War Shout. I think it's just new functionality. What was the old functionality? Allies heal for... Oh, wow. They just baked that old level 20 into Bloodlust. Wow, okay. Okay. You can see the win rate is high, but that's because it's a level 20 thing. But that's a pretty big deal, right? And now it's going to be twice as good. Like, healing for 60% of the basic attack time. Like, that's really powerful. I'm really excited to see what happens with Rehgar. I love this whole, the aggression. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Make his basic attacks better. Make his Wolf Bite better. Lightning Shield better. And then make Bloodlust better. I'm so on board with this. I can't even describe. It's been a while since Rehgar was a major dominant force. His performance is now low enough, yeah, it's pretty shit, that we can safely increase the rewards for his aggressive playstyle without pushing his win rate too high. For Bloodlust, I want to reduce the loss of healing for picking the heroic, but only, yeah, I love this. So it's like, yeah, reduce the loss of healing, but only for basic attack teams that really benefit for it. So if you have a team structured around Bloodlust might be really good now. And I like that. I think that's cool. Alright, Artanis. I'm not going to go through the big reworks in this, but needless to say, there is a large Artanis rework. Some of the big, I'll just point out some of the major changes here. So, your blade dash, for example, if you dash through minions, it's now per enemy hit. And it's just like baked in. So, for example, if we hop over to Artanis right here, it's pretty cool. Alright, so first up, actually, let's talk about this trait first, because that's probably the defining thing. So the cooldown has been increased by 4 seconds to 24 seconds, and now activates at 75% health instead of 50% health, so you're getting the benefit from your shield at a much higher level, but the shield value has been reduced. But this should overall make the shield is more generally useful and applicable, and it's going to make your early game much better. Obviously, you get quite a lot of value out of the shield late game, where being at half health wasn't hugely important because the shield was so powerful, but early game, you're still really weak and very vulnerable to being killed. So, you know, the shield activating at 50% health meant your early game was really, really bad with Artanis. So this makes it a bit more reasonable. Basically, you had this thing at Q, Sonic Synergy, which was when you hit an enemy hero, reduces shield overload's cooldown by 4 seconds. So that would help you refresh your shield. Now you've got like a bit of shield refresh kind of built in. 1 second per enemy hit, just basic when you hit people with Blade Dash. 2 seconds per hero hit. So it's not as strong as the talent was. I think the talent has just been changed a little bit, but it's still there. But yeah, definitely like in the lane, for example, if you dash through the 7 minions and a hero, that's 9 seconds off the cooldown, which is kind of nice, and I like that. Twin Blades, the charge, will now check the edge of a unit instead of the center, which means like you can actually charge to heroes like Asmodan, whereas before you'd be like a millimeter away and you'd be like, ah, now I can charge you, now I'm near your center. Now it's going to charge to the edge, which should make it much more consistent and actually much more powerful. This is a pretty big buff. Charge to the edge of the hero. So it's just going to be so much easier to manage. It's like you will always cover the same distance, which is the distance from the edge of Artanis to the edge of that hero. Yeah, it just makes so much more sense to me. Why, like, it would be like, why can I charge really far to Lavala, but I can charge like this far to Diablo? It doesn't make any sense. So this is much better. The cooldown of Phase Prism has been increased, but you can now cast Phase Prism during Blade Dash, which is kind of cool. So you can like Blade Dash, throw out your Prism, and then the Prism will fly out while you're dashing back, and then you do a really big swap. So big playmaking things right there. Excited to see what that is. Now there's a lot of talent stuff being changed. I'm going to go through this in-game, because I find this really difficult to work through. I find this stuff can be really unclear. So tell you what, guys, just stick around for the Artanis video, and we'll go through it there. But generally speaking, not huge talent changes as far as I can see. To a small extent, we'll work out exactly how big they are in general, but I think the changes to his base kit are the biggest thing here overall, I think. The goals of the Artanis update were twofold. Increases playmaking, so swapping enemies during Blade Dash, cool. Increases solo lane capabilities, Blade Dash reducing shield overload cooldown, and shield overload triggering at higher health. I like it a lot. And they're going to make him more viable on more battlegrounds and with more team compositions. Yeah, I've got to say, I'm a pretty big fan of this. I like it a lot. Make him way better in the early game, make him way better at solo laning, and give him like more cool things he can do. He was a very clunky hero. He is not designed the best at all when he first came out. Like stuff like this is that's just clunky design, and the way Blade Dash worked before. I like this stuff. I think it makes him much smoother. I think it makes him I think it's going to feel a lot better to play Artanis and be easier to balance him as well. So I'm a fan of this. We'll see exactly. We'll check out the talents and stuff when we do the Artanis video. Dehaka is up next. So Brush Stalker, 10-second increase cooldown. And Dehaka gains 15% move speed while in a bush and for 1 second after exiting a bush. So, yeah, okay, cool. You're going to be better in bushes, which is interesting. Very interesting. They have nerfed the global a little bit, and that's fine. And you can now cancel Burrow early, which is pretty cool too. And then they've made adaptation much, much better. In fact, I want to swap over and check out the... Ooh, not this. Dehaka. I want to check this out. I'm curious about those heroics. How do they compare overall? Overall, alright, they're actually very comparable. What about a master? Will adaptation even show? Yes, it does. Wow. Adaptation is straight up the better heroic right now. I'm coming out there and saying that. 6% higher win rate at master. And then just overall 1% lower. They've made it so much better. It's now, instead of healing 60%, going to heal 100%. Adaptation, better. It's better. They've also removed, crucially, I paid more attention to this because there's bigger talent changes. They've removed Hardened Shield, which means for tank Haka, where you could take Hardened Shield before. In fact, I'm curious about Master for this. What was the most popular choice? Yeah, it was pretty popular. That's the most popular choice. This is gone, right? So people in maybe the late game, the win rate's very low for level 20, actually, which is interesting. But, yeah, with this gone, if you go isolation, you're very squishy. Adaptation is going to provide you, I think, yeah, adaptation is just going to be the go-to. Use it to tank it up. Very interesting right there. Very interesting. Big change. Big change. We got new stuff. So, okay, Enduring Swarm, new functionality. Less damage during a bit. That makes sense. So at the moment, let's hop over to the Dehaka as well. Again, we can't fully compare the talents, but this used to be a thing over here where it was reduce the damage to the next 2 abilities. So for example, like Gleaming Disintegrate, which is it's gone, which sucked. And it's a pretty long cooldown, like 9-second cooldown. So this is, you take 40% less damage from abilities while Dark Swarm is active. So new tanky thing. Enhanced Agility. For every 50 essence you collect, your brushstroke or move speed bonus is increased. I think this sounds awful. This sounds so bad. It's already crap. And this was just a straight up, like, would give you, I'm almost certain, this would just straight up give you 15% move speed. Always. And it's fucking crap. I know they're making it, they're making it 10% more move speed in a bush. They've made it worse, and it's already crap. I don't understand, Blizzard. I don't understand. Anyway, so never pick this. This is, in fact, just delete this from the game. What the fuck? Or you know what? Bake it into Tissue Regeneration. Combine the two of them. Neither one is played. What are the win rates overall? Okay, they're better overall. But, like, these ones are kind of shitty. You've already buffed Enduring Swarm a bunch. You know what? Just combine the new shitty Enhanced Agility with Tissue Regeneration. Win-win. I love it. Let's do that. Make it happen. Lurker Strain. Nice. Okay, so Numbing Eruption is gone. This is kind of cool. So before you had these two, and they put them together, I really like. Again, like I think I said in this video already as well. Or maybe it was the last video. I can't remember now. But I think 4 talents on a tier is too much. I much prefer when there's only 1. Or I'm not only 1. I always prefer when there's only 3 talents on a tier. I feel like 4 is overkill. So they've baked 4 in. So now Lurker Strain was you when you burrow, you gain stealth for 5 seconds. Now Numbing Eruption is just built into that, if I'm correct. Yeah, knocks enemies away, slows their movement speed. So really nice escape, right? You burrow in when you pop out a burrow, and again, you can cancel that on demand. It's not just like 2 seconds later you pop up. You can now cancel it instantly. So you can like burrow down, boom, pop up, knock people back, be in stealth, escape. That's really cool. I think that adds a lot. Again, I assume those were relatively unpopular. Yeah, they were relatively unpopular. And it looks like that could be a very good talent pick here too. There's some interesting things you can combo with later as well. You can't even see the win rates. Okay. But yeah, so instead of just having more essence, you can now have a bit more control and stuff. And I like that a lot. Hero Stalker has been nerfed as well. Hero Stalker has been nerfed. So yeah, I think this might change up your build quite a lot too. Alright, level 13 then. I'm going to go through all of these because I think these are big changes. More so than Artanis, I feel. Swift Pursuit. Move speed bonus after leaving a bush increased. Great. That seems pretty bad. Ferocious Stalker. After using Brush Stalker, increase all the damage you deal by 25% for 10 seconds. That seems better. Unfortunately, Whirling Dervish is gone. Now you got something which is pretty cool. Enemies affected by Dark Swarm take 15% increased damage from all sources. You know what? No, actually, this one's the best one. That's a W talent. So, level 13, Whirling Dervish is gone. So these two are there, but they're worse. But yeah, why would you increase your own damage by 25% when you can increase everyone's damage by 15% against a target? That's really good, right? So I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm thinking maybe the new, I think still Primal Aggression. So longer Dark Swarm, awesome. I'm thinking like the Lurker Strain, so a bit of stealth, bit of knockback, some control in the team fight. Symbiosis as before. So every time Dark Swarm damages an enemy hero, reduces cooldown. So really nice synergies between this and this. Adaptation, so you're tanky. Then I think the new W thing. So yeah, you're going to reduce the cooldown loads with Symbiosis. And then everyone takes 15% increased damage. That seems so powerful. What the hell, man? That seems so good. So you just run into the middle of the enemy team. You just pop your W. You're getting all this cooldown reduction. Just woo, Dark Swarm everywhere. They start focusing on you. You have adaptation to survive. You also have got your Lurker Strain to survive as well. Yeah, that seems really good. Then this is pretty cool. Rapid Regeneration is gone at 16, which is the heal. Instead, you got Tunneling Claws. You could move while burrowed. So that's so cool. So you could like burrow in, then you're digging around in stealth, pop up where you want, knock people back. That seems pretty awesome. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but that just seems like such a cool thematic thing. I'm a big fan of that. They're gonna make, wow, okay, so what is this already? This is adaptation. The cooldown reduced by a lot. Pretty nice, I suppose. And you're gonna heal for double 200% of the damage received. So you take a whole bunch of damage, heal it all up. Pretty nice. Heart and Shield is gone. Essence Claws then. Basic attacks slow enemies by 20% for 1 second. And basic attacks grant 5 essence. That seems pretty good. You know what? I'm kind of, yeah. I dig this new Dehaka. I think it's pretty awesome. I like what they've done overall. I'm a bit concerned. Ooh, Feeding Frenzy was changed level 7. What happened there? It says it's been changed, right? No, it's a new talent. That can't be right. They're already there. Have they changed them? There's nothing here on level 7. There could potentially be some level 7 changes that haven't quite popped up here. And then these have been changed. Oh, move talent. Feeding Frenzy. It's been moved? No, it's still there. I think this is an error. So maybe we don't have the full information here because this isn't apparently displaying correctly. It's saying there's changes to level 7 and level 7 has nothing as far as I can tell. Alright, so we'll have to come back to this a little bit. Okay, cool. But overall, sure, let's see what they're saying anyway. We started doing some small changes to Dehaka's talent tree in order to increase diversity and fix some talent pick issues. Par for the course. Let's open a rabbit hole, design opportunities we end up falling into. Sure. Dehaka's change is mostly complete. Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of reappeared as a very strong hero. So yeah, there you go. So they've kind of finalized the rework because of that. Base move speed and brush stalker. Mel's design. Brand new talent should open up new fun ways to hunt your prey. Okay. I like where they're going. I'm not sure. I'm feeling fairly cookie cutter right now. I'm feeling fairly cookie cutter with I don't know, maybe paralyzing enzymes. I don't know at this level. And then like maybe this one. Maybe the new claw thing. So like kind of CC focused Dehaka. I don't know. Plus W. I feel like he might become a bit cookie cutter. We'll see exactly. But I like the direction they're going for sure. Next up we have Diablo. And he has been changed as well. So, Shadow Charge, the damage has gone down, but I think they're going to take more damage if you hit them into a stun, which is cool. And you also get resistant for 2 seconds after charging. Fire Stomp does less damage, but by default, the fireballs will now return. So, overall, it is a damage increase from level 1, but you don't get that big level 13 talent. So let's pop over to Diablo. And let's pop over to Diablo here. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. You now get more max health from Soulstone stacks as well. And there's a few talents going around this, which I think are pretty interesting too. Devil's Due. What's Devil's Due at the moment? Oh, so you can't reduce the cost. Interesting. So it makes regen globes and healing fountains more effective for every stack of black Soulstone. So as far as I know, again, we'll work through all these talents. There's a lot here, and I'm getting a bit tired. So I'm getting a bit tired, sad face. I don't want to read through all this stuff. So he's been under the knife for a few months. So make him gank orientated, punishing out of position heroes, more survivability. Really interesting. But yeah, the kind of curious things I'm seeing here is that they have, giving him resistant baseline, making Soulstone more important. It seems like dying is going to be much more punishing now. You can't get Devil's Due, which makes it less punishing, which is it only cost 60 souls. And your souls are more powerful now. And then there's some stuff that makes your souls a bit better as well. Let me see. Some stuff that kind of stood out right here. So this is kind of nice. Level 4, you can get a talent, gives you 30% move speed for 5 seconds after being stunned or rooted. And then there's a Q thing, which increases the range of Shadow Charge. Okay. At level 1, you got this Bulwark talent, which is kind of interesting, right? Which is, you now get resistant for 5 seconds after using Shadow Charge, which is a pretty, yeah, that's pretty interesting. 5 seconds of resistance whenever you use your Q, which is pretty intriguing. Or that kind of replaces block, I suppose. Or you can make your regen stuff more powerful. Life Leeches move from level 13. Or basic attacks heal you. Oh, okay. Deal bonus damage equal to a hero's max health and heal for the same amount. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. And we'll go through all this stuff properly. But yeah, you get some move speed options. Your Diabolical Momentum will lower the cooldown of Shadow Charge and Overpower. So that's pretty nice as well. Comboing some stuff pretty well. You have Devastating Charge, which is gone. So that'll be level 13. Additional 5% max health and damage. Okay, so that's pretty late to get a quest, but level 13 you can get a quest that will make your Q into terrain do a lot more damage. Then this one is kind of cool. I saw this one. I thought this one was awesome. Each black Soulstone stack grants Diablo 0.35% resistance to abilities. So obviously with 100 black Soulstones, you have 35% permanent ability damage reduction, which is a really big deal actually. So yeah, Black Soulstone's already giving you more max health. With 100 stacks, instead of being 20% max health, it's now 40%. It's twice as good. In level 7, you can grab Soul Shield. So 35% ability damage reduction with max Soulstone stacks. It makes dying really punishing. Really punishing. Or you can also get Soul Feast, so granting 4.4 health regen per second per soul. With 100 souls, that's 40 health regen per second. That's not very good. I think Soul Shield seems much better. But yeah, it seems like you're going to be really focused on maintaining your souls. Firestorm is gone. It's now baseline, but weaker. But you've got this Hellfire thing, which can stack it up. And this is pretty good. This might be your go-to level 13. Devil's Due from level 4. So that aura damage whenever you use your W, it's going to do more damage now. And will give you 25% empowered basic attacks for 6 seconds. That could be pretty cool. Again, we'll see exactly how all this stuff works out when we come through. Oh yeah, so level 13 is going to be all damage. So you can either improve the damage of your next stomp whenever you stomp. You can get like this, or sorry, get an aura and have your basic attacks do more damage, so consistent, steady damage. You can have your next W do more damage, or you can have like your Q quest. Interesting there. Yeah, we'll work through all this when we go. Thought this was kind of cool as well. Fearful Presence. So people that have hit you if their attack speed slowed, you can activate it to reduce damage dealt by nearby heroes, which is kind of cool. And then we'll work out exactly like the QE build stuff that is going on here. And then Hellgate is here, which is kind of nice. Bolt the Storm is gone. So you have Hellgate, which is like a mini apocalypse. You can just bolt forwards, and then a little bit later it will explode and do a stun, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I'm interested to see exactly what's going to work out. Again, they seem like fairly substantial changes to his talents. The thing I'm most curious about with Diablo is just how much more important Black Soulstone seems like it's going to be. Like, people used to kind of obsess about it before and be like, oh, let me, choose whether to activate it to give up my Black Soulstone stuff. And it's kind of like, it's not really that good. It's like 20% max health is nice and everything, but that's not like the end of the world. You're nearly always better late game resurrecting, usually. So, I don't know. They seem like they're making this way more important. I'm really curious about Soul Shield. And, yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen. And these level 1 talents sound kind of interesting. Speed Demon. I'm curious how exactly this is going to work. But yeah, Diablo. Interesting changes for him. I'm kind of sad that like the super damage Diablo is going to be gone for sure. With like it was like a W build with Diabolical Momentum, and he did so much damage. It was insane. Like his win rate's pretty good at Master, I think. If we look at that. Oh, never mind. It's pretty bad. Well, I had a lot of success with it. Apparently, other people did not. Feels bad, man. Okay, so Q, improved cast animation. And then the delay between casting your Q and doing anything else has been reduced by 0.25 seconds. So she kind of like will lock you in a little bit to firing that Q. They've made it much smoother so that, yeah, basically she should feel much more fluid as a character. And that seems like a really nice change to me. And then just some bug fixes here. Nothing that seems like too huge to me overall. Just little bugs that would kind of stand out a little bit. But are kind of... Actually, this one, I've heard people complain about this one a lot, actually, which is the camera doesn't follow Ravenous Spirit properly, and that it would make it really awkward to control. So they fixed that, and that's nice. But yeah, there you go. Just some little bug fixes. Nothing too huge there. That's the PTR patch notes. Like I said, we will go and play each of these heroes on the PTR. It wasn't working when we tried it there, but we'll go and play every single one of them, take them for a spin, see how they actually perform in-game. Pretty excited, and it's going to be cool. I like some of the changes a lot that they made to other heroes. Excited to see more Chromie and more Kael'thas. I like this. I love what they've done to Rehgar, and then I'm liking the looks of the Artanis, Dehaka, and Diablo reworks quite a lot. I'm not sure exactly how good they're going to be. I feel like the Artanis one is... It probably looks like, to me, like it's going to be the most on point. That this is just making it much smoother, much more relevant. The Dehaka, I love what they're doing. I'm a bit concerned that they're going to need to balance the talents a bit more. Just my initial impressions. I could be wrong, but my initial impressions are that maybe it's a bit cookie cutter. We'll see, though. And then Diablo, again, quite large changes to him. I feel like... I'm not sure. I feel like making Black Soulstone more important and more punishing to death might be a big downside, so I'm not sure. We'll see exactly. But anyway, there are my thoughts on the PTR. I'll have up these videos as soon as it starts working again, hopefully. So later, stay tuned later today, and then probably tomorrow. So today and tomorrow I'll probably try to get like Ragnaros and I don't know, maybe Ragnaros Artanis up today, and then Dehaka Diablo tomorrow, something like that. I don't know exactly how it's going to work out. That's the rough plan. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. I will see you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Bye bye.